Hey everyone, it's Colin. How's it going? I've got a couple of boxes full of vintage PDAs. Stick around, let's see what's inside. So I was digging through some bins of retro equipment the other day and I came across my handspring visor. It was from, I think, the early 2000s. It was basically a Palm Pilot clone device. It ran Palm OS, but playing around with that device really got me kind of nostalgic for retro handheld computing. Stuff from the late 90s, even mid 90s through the early 2000s. So I went out and bought some. And let's go crack these boxes open and see exactly what it is that I bought. This first one is a bigger box from a guy named Jeff in Vancouver. I paid 60 bucks for this. I know what's inside, but I don't know the condition. I've never owned these particular devices before. That 60 bucks that I paid includes shipping to the US from Canada, and I think he paid like 30 bucks in shipping. Needless to say, when I was talking with him about this transaction, he's, just kind of a fellow retro computing, retro handheld fan like I am, and he really just wanted to see these go to a good home, which I'm happy to provide. Oh, and did I mention that they were complete in box? Because yeah, they're complete in box, which is super cool. You can tell a couple of Sony Clies. This one we'll save for a little later. Wow, and these boxes are in good shape too. Which one do we want to do first? Let's do this one first. So this is, I believe, a black and white model. They're advertising Palm OS 5. This is a later thing. This is actually, I think, newer than any of the Palms that I've ever owned. I stopped using my handspring visor probably around, I'd say 2003 or so. I was in college at the time when I had the visor, and I think in 2003-ish was when I just switched to carrying a laptop with me to class all the time. I used to take notes on my Palm device with like an external keyboard. It worked really well, actually. So here's the Clie itself. Wow, that's in really good shape. I mean, these are all used devices. None of this is brand new or anything. Okay, it needs a charge, clearly. Screen's in really good shape. There's like no scratches or anything on it, which I'm always happy to see. Something interesting is kind of this scroll wheel bit at the bottom. That's not something that I'm really used to with Palms. There were always like up and down buttons, but this is kind of where Sony started to do its own thing with the Palm devices. There's actually quite a bit of Sony proprietary stuff going on here, maybe. It's got a memory stick slot on the top. A lot of other Palm devices used SD cards in this era. What's also really curious about this particular unit is if you look on the back, there's a camera lens. This thing had a built-in camera. So I'm curious to see what kind of quality that offers, what experience you get out of that. Really going deep dive into some of these devices I may save for a future video, just to kind of do better justice to it than a quick unboxing overview kind of video like this one. But did I get that right about this being the black and white unit? No, this is the color unit, excuse me. I understand that there are quite a few fans of the Sony Clie series out there, which is partially why I'm doing this video, because I figure, some of them may be interested in seeing maybe a model that they never had or never seen before. All the documentation and everything, this guy did a really good job keeping everything together. I guess that's the little sleeve that the unit comes in. Some more information here. Sony was always really big on like just including tons of paperwork with their products. Let's see what else is in the box. All right, the charger and all the cables. Of course, it's going to come with kind of a proprietary charging thing, and Palm, that's not just a Sony thing. I mean, you could trash talk Sony for being proprietary, and they do that kind of stuff, but Palm Pilots in general a lot of them use like little proprietary connectors on them for charging and data transfer and all that, so I'm not really surprised to see that here. This charging adapter also has a mini USB port on it for data transfer. A lot of Palm Pilots came with proper docking stations where you would just leave kind of that cradle on your desk and plugged into your computer, and you could just, you know, drop the Palm in the dock and synchronize everything over. I have no doubt that that was an optional accessory here because, again, you know, Sony likes to do proprietary things and charge you extra money for accessories. But overall, I have no doubt that the experience on this thing was pretty cool. So, you know, maybe future video will explore that one a little further. Let's get into the other Clie here. So this is likely the older unit because this one is the black and white screen. With white LED backlight. Rechargeable battery is a selling point on the front, but that's actually kind of an important thing from this era. Oh yeah, here's some of the optional accessories that I got, all the documentation and CDs and everything, but this one I remember, yeah, he said it came with a foldable keyboard deal. I had a similar thing to this, like I said, when I was back in college, taking notes on my visor. Mine didn't fold up like this. It was Go Type, I think was the brand. And it was smaller. This one has like full-size keys. This is actually a pretty nice keyboard. The one I used had smaller keys. It didn't fold up, but it had like a lid that would open, and then you could just drop the visor into the dock. This one, it like folds up more compact, and then here's the little docking nub that the Clie drops into. So I kind of like how much this folds up, and I like the size of the keys. Whether the key feel is any good, I'm not sure, but overall decent deal there. I'm glad that came with it. Some more of the original accessories and everything. Like, for real, they kept the, you know, the little foam sleeve thing that the handheld stayed in. So you can tell this person was quite an aficionado. So here's that handheld. It's a little bit thicker than the other Clie. Again, memory stick. Infrared, you'll notice a lot of Palms included infrared. That was actually kind of a big deal for a while because, yeah, you can normally drop it into the docking station, which this one, yeah, doesn't include either, to synchronize, and if you had a built-in rechargeable battery to charge it. But if you just had some real quick data to synchronize, a lot of laptops had infrared ports on them, IRDA. And you could just like click a button, you know, on the computer and make sure that the two IR windows were aimed at each other and synchronize data that way. It wasn't terribly fast, but I remember doing that with my Palm device and my PowerBook, my Mac PowerBook, way back in like the late 90s. And I just thought that was impressively cool. Kind of a similar design to the other Clie. You can see they're definitely like from the same family. This one's got that scroll wheel. This one has kind of the more traditional up-down buttons. If you're not familiar with Palm devices, these had handwriting recognition, but it was very specific. It used a technology called graffiti, and it used this area at the bottom of the screen. So you couldn't just write anywhere on the screen. The entire screen was touch sensitive, and it was resistive touch, so you had to use the stylus that came with it in order to use the touch functions. You had to write the letters and numbers in a very specific way in this area at the bottom of the screen for them to get recognized. Now that said, you know, the reason why things like these fold-up keyboards got popular was generally because it wasn't still all that fast of a way to input data into one of these. So if you wanted to type out an email or notes or whatever, yeah, get a keyboard. It'll be way quicker, but if you just need to schedule a quick appointment in here or something like that, graffiti generally worked really well. Let me get this packed back up here. I remember, I never used one of these, but I remember this from my senior year of high school. So this would have placed it probably 2000, 2001. For whatever reason, the school was rolling out having the teachers use these. This is a Palm 3 device, but you can see it's branded by Symbol. Now Symbol, if you aren't familiar with their brand, they're probably most known for barcode scanners and inventory control kind of stuff. But I remember the school rolling out this device to all of the teachers. And the idea is that they would do all their grade books and everything on these, which kind of made sense. I mean, in terms of, getting information stored digitally and being able to prepare to have that available for on the web and all that. Why they picked this device, I'm not sure, because this is more for like if you work in a warehouse and you want to, scan quantities of stuff and do inventory and, maybe you're fulfilling customer orders, that kind of stuff. Why would you spec out the unit that's got the, the laser barcode scanner and everything on the top? Why not just give the teachers regular palm devices? I don't know. But this is kind of like a, beefed up Palm 3, but you've just got this barcode scanning kind of add-on hardware at the top. You can push the buttons on the side to enable the scanner. And there would obviously be custom software that you would have running on this. You'd have this thing sitting in its dock and the order would get loaded onto the unit and then you'd grab it out of the dock and go running around the warehouse to pick up the items, and then you would scan each item to confirm that you picked the right thing. And then when you got back with the bucket of items, you would throw this thing back in the dock and it would like synchronize that down to the ordering system to say, yep, these are all the things that were picked up, and, confirming that the order so it can move on to the next step. Maybe you could scan like the shipping barcode with this sort of thing to get that loaded in for the customer as well, something like that. So this was definitely more of an industrial use kind of handheld, definitely not for, consumers to use. What's interesting is this thing has a manufacture date of June 2004 on the back. So you can also kind of tell just how slowly some of those markets move. I mean, the Palm 3, my very first Palm Pilot was a Palm 3. It unfortunately met a rather grisly fate, which is why I ended up switching to the handspring visor. And I'm eventually going to find another of my original Palm 3s. It was kind of a limited edition thing, so they're not very common. But I remember buying that particular unit in, I think, 1999. And this thing was manufactured in 2004. And 2004 was pretty late in the game for a really simple, relatively low-end Palm 3 device like this. It did have a backlight. I believe this one was electroluminescent, takes AAA batteries. It was a much more plasticky feel on these compared to something like the Clie. No doubt this would be a little bit more rugged. Obviously you wouldn't want to be equipping people in a warehouse with nicer, more expensive devices like Clies. But I know that companies made like super rugged versions of Palm Pilots with like big rubber bumper cases around them and stuff. But this was thrown in the box for $5 and I figured, hey, why not? I don't know if I've got a sync cable still that'll work with this. Otherwise, it's a standard Palm 3 sync cable, so I can pick one of those up off of eBay for pretty cheap. But figured, yeah, I might as well throw this one in as well, if anything, to show you all, and we can do a comparison. So again, if you're interested in seeing something more about this, let me know down in the comments and we'll see what we can do. All right, time for the last box. So that previous box with 3 handheld devices in it was $60 with shipping. This single box was $60 with shipping. There's only one device in here. I bought this one up off of eBay, as opposed to just being kind of a more personal sale like that other deal was. What's nice about collecting handheld devices like this, PDAs and stuff, is they're so small. I mean, I would love to get into collecting like retro desktops and stuff like that. I don't have the room for that. I don't think a lot of people have the room to collect many different desktop systems. And even laptops, can sometimes take up too much space. I don't know if you saw my video about building a storage bin. I'll include a card, up top, so you can check that one out. Just to store a few retro laptops, I mean, that still takes up a decent amount of space. These are really small and compact. So I kind of like the idea of collecting handhelds just because I can have more of them and be able to fit them in the space that I have. At least this thing was well packed. I appreciate that. It's an Apple Newton, Message Pad 120. Push the button to release the lid. It had a built-in screen cover. So this is a much older device than the Palm 3 or the Clie. This is from like the mid-90s. This is in some ways kind of the granddaddy of PDAs. There definitely were PDAs older than this, but they didn't necessarily really have the principal input and control method of being touchscreen. A lot of the PDAs that came prior to Newton were the little fold-up devices. Various manufacturers made them, but they had a keyboard, and you would principally use that keyboard to move around and input and all that kind of stuff. The Newton is perhaps one of the most visible, if not the first, mass market solutions for a PDA where it was just touch input. Same thing with the Palm. Palm is what, really had that market take off. Newton did not set the world on fire. There are tons of big Newton fans out there, no doubt. But the Newton group did some really cool stuff. And I think it's what ultimately kind of spurred the industry to move on to, even better things like the Palm series. Windows Mobile kind of went along those same lines. Windows CE kind of stuff, those little PDAs. Just like the Palms, Newton had an infrared transceiver on the top. Unlike the Palms, this thing didn't really ever have a docking station. You would connect it to your computer using a serial port, and this is a proprietary kind of Mac serial port. You would often get expansion options with this, which was a critical complaint about a lot of Palm devices, and is actually the handspring visors kind of claim to fame. Palm devices, especially from this era, you just put batteries in them and that's it, right? The CLIAs and some of the other Palm licensed devices would expand things a little bit more with options for like sticking the, the memory stick or the SD cards in there. Palm themselves even eventually started putting SD card slots in their handhelds. And that's really what Handspring marketed their Palm devices for as well, where they had an actual expansion slot that you could stick things like modems and additional memory and all that kind of stuff into. What was interesting about the Newton is that it was just a regular PCMCIA card slot. So you get a dummy card, which I'm actually really glad this unit came with, because this kind of stuff can go missing over the years, and they're really hard to find replacements of. Around back, you've got the battery cover. This thing took 4 AA's. There was a backup battery because this thing didn't really have flash memory. So if you took the batteries out and took the backup battery out, all of your data on this thing would be gone. So you had this process for, if you needed to replace the backup battery, you had to have regular batteries in there first. There were grand hopes that these devices would, expand their functionality and get used in things like classrooms and industry and all that. Apple tried, but it never really took off. Apple tried seating the eMate in schools. And some schools actually did pick up on the eMate, which was a much later gen of Newton than this one. It was more of a laptop clamshell. I did a video on that. I'll throw a card up top for that one as well if you're interested in seeing it. But this is kind of the quintessential Newton. The big difference between the Newton and the Palm, though, was Newton had a completely different handwriting recognition system. The idea was you could just write anywhere on the screen using your natural handwriting, and it would just try to figure it out. Famously, it wasn't that accurate, and in fact, later on, a version of graffiti was written for Newton, and that generally performed a lot better. I've got fond memories of graffiti. Once you learned how to use graffiti and exactly how you had to form the letters in the way that the device could recognize, you could get going pretty fast with pretty good accuracy. Still, Newton had some life to it, and it wasn't just a one and done type of product. There were several Newton devices that came out over the years. They definitely pushed the technology forward. And like I said, I think really kind of laid the groundwork for where PDAs went and what PDAs morphed into today with things like smartphones. It's really interesting to see where this technology came from and where it went, and just how wide a swath of use cases, everything from the consumer side of things to the more industrial side of things. Anyway, figured you might be interested in seeing this one. If you like this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @thisdoesnotcomp. And as always, thanks for watching.